Okay, so what we're going to do is today we'll learn about Power BI, the desktop application. Okay, and we'll also discuss what are the topics that we're going to cover. Okay, so one is ETL, DAX, data modeling, Power Query, visualizations. Okay, so when we take about ETL as a whole, as a topic, right, it has a lot of things. Okay, so we'll go one by one and try to understand. Okay, first 15 minutes we'll go through the theoretical, okay, and then we'll do the practice. Okay, so ETL, okay, so this is the term you will get to see in the internet, okay, when you search for data engineering and other roles, okay, which are connected with data. Okay, so ETL stands for extract, transform, load. Okay, so what exactly is extract? Okay, so extract is something you are connecting a data, grab or fetch data from sources. Okay, it could be any sources on your local hard drive or local disk, Google Sheets, okay, from the G Drive or SQL or Postgres. Okay, so it could be any source. Okay, few examples are these are all flat files. Okay, CSV, Excel, and all. CSV, Excel, database, data lake. Okay, we'll also see what is the difference between data lake and data mart and other things. Okay, I'll explain these topics when we come along to these topics. Okay, and the next step that we're going to use is transform. Okay, transformation. Okay, what does transformation means? Basically, it all includes EDA, exploratory data analysis, that we did in Python. Okay, or we can say cleaning the data, restructuring, reformatting, correcting the data type. Okay, and then you will prepare it for analysis to the next stage, which is load. Okay, load is nothing but you will save and whatever the data that you have cleaned up, right, and that data is ready for visualization. Okay, that is where you will create various charts based on the data that you have, and then you will exhibit those charts on Power BI service or export through various means. Okay, okay, in Power BI. Okay, what does this ETL terminology means? Okay, so when we talk about extract, okay, it means connectors. Okay, so we have a lot of connectors within Power BI. When you launch the Power BI instance, you will see. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, get data from various sources or get data from CSV, Excel, database, data lake, APIs, and more into Power BI. Okay, transformation means query. Okay, query editor. We call it as query editor. In Excel, if you see, you have a query editor, right? Where you will manually write your the formula. Okay, you will add your M code there, right? M stands for mathematical code there, right? So we call it as a Power Query. Okay, the middle stage, which is Power Query, where you can do a clean reshape, prepare your data using a no code interface. Okay, you have all, uh, I mean, with the help of your mouse clicks, you can do that. Okay, there are some where you have to write a code, M code. Okay, and load is nothing but your data model. Okay, as per Power BI, I'm telling as per Power BI terminology. Okay, load means data model. You organize your data into a table. Okay, and you will define a relationship. Okay, and then you will make use of those data for visualization. Okay, let's talk about ETL life cycle. Okay, Power BI life cycle. Okay, so this is whatever you see on your screen, right? These four stages are your entire life cycle. Okay, first one is connector, then we have Power Query, data model, and visualization. Okay, so this is getting your data, and the second stage is transforming your data. Okay, and third stage is model and arrange tables. Okay, and you will define a relationship. Okay, and then you will create beautiful visualization and dashboards, okay, in a report view. Okay, we'll talk about this Power Query later tomorrow, since we have to look at those ETL concept in Power BI. So we will go through one by one and try to understand the ETL concept with Power BI desktop application. Okay, so let me launch my Power BI. So I'll just close all these things. Okay, let me launch it. Okay, so when you launch your Power BI, okay, after installing your Power BI, when you launch for the first time, this is the window you will get. Okay, so just forgot about this. These are my recent work, okay, that I was working. Okay, just forget about this. For you, those who are opening for the first time, you will see empty here, empty section, and you will see this option. Okay, so you have home, open, okay, settings, option and settings, about, and sign out. Okay, these are the options that you will get to see here. So I'll click on new project. Okay, so this is the entire interface that you're gonna see here. Entire interface. Okay, so on the left, you will see some context menus here. Okay, so this is report view. This one is table view. This one is model. Okay, data modeling, where you will create your relationship with tables. And this one is the DAX interface, where you will write your code. And this one is TLDR, sorry, TMDL. Okay, so here you will drag any models here, and then you can also uh, create your object models here. Okay, we'll see one by one as we go along. We'll see one by one what are the use cases of all these things. Okay, so first thing first, we'll try to load our data today and see there are some important steps, okay, in every stage. So I'll show you one by one. Okay, so this is the window that you're gonna get, okay, when you sign in and log in. Okay, so always the best practice is whatever you see here, page number, right, you give a meaningful name. Okay, so in my case, I'll say uh, Power BI project 1. Okay, so you can give any name, okay? And you have duplicate also, okay? Just like Excel sheet, right? I mean, if you want to duplicate, what you do is right click on the tab, one sheet, and then you will create a duplicate. Same thing, you have an option here. And what is these two? Okay, so these are your visualization layout, okay, for mobile, okay? When you visualize your report, right, how it will look on a mobile phone. Okay, so this is just a simulation, okay, that it will give you to see your data. Okay, after you publish, after you are done with the visualization step, right, in a Power BI lifecycle management, you need to check, okay, if the data is looking good or not. Okay, if you're designing only for system, you can leave it for system here. Okay, at the left hand side, you have layout view and mobile layout view. Okay, and on the extreme right hand side bottom, you have settings. Okay, if the same settings, that it will take you to the same settings that I showed you before also. Okay, same setting. Okay, you can access it from here. Okay, And if you want to increase the size, you have the option here. Okay. So if I click on the plus sign, you can see. Okay. So it looks good. Okay. If you are on a bigger screen, right, and you need your screen properly displayed, right? So you can use the option here where you can increase and decrease the font size or the entire window context here. Okay. And on the right hand side, you have the option here. Okay. So I'll show you first under view. Okay. So these are all the menus that you are seeing on this first window. Okay. So under view. Okay. So you have data. If I uncheck, you see that data is gone. Okay. Build, gone. Format, gone. You see now the menu has changed. Okay. Performance analyzer, selection, bookmark, slices. Okay, everything is gone. Now, if you want to add, you can click on here and you can add one by one. Okay, you need to just toggle this option on the right and then you can get going with your analysis. Okay, so I'll just check the default option, build, format, selection, slices. Okay, first we need to understand the entire uh, Power BI interface here. Okay, on the left, we know what are these, right? So next we'll go to home. Yeah, this window you see. Okay, so to access a data, right? To access a data, you can either go here or you can, if you know, see, out of these four options, you know what your data is. Like for example, if it is Excel, you can click here and select the file, and you can import that file, and then you can start working. Similarly, SQL. Okay, SQL means if you have a .SQL file or if you are connecting to SQL server, you need to have the IP address, username, and password to connect to your SQL box. Okay, or if it is running on the same machine, you can mention as localhost. Okay, I'll show you with Postgres. Postgres is installed, loaded on my laptop. So I'll show you with the, instead of this, I'll show you Postgres later. Okay, and yeah, and the next option is paste data into a blank table. What does this mean is, for example, you have a lot of websites. If you go to uh, uh, what is this called, Wikipedia, right? If you are looking for some data there, right, you will get it. Say for example, COVID data. Okay, COVID data. If you go there, you will find it in a table format. You can just select there the table, copy, and then you click this option and paste it. Okay, so there is no need to connect to that web page and all. Just copy paste directly. Okay, it says here the context, paste data into a blank table. Okay, and the next one is use sample data. What is this use sample data? So Power BI supports uh, sample data for your learning. Okay, if I click on this, okay, it will take me to the two options. One is online and experiment on your own. Okay, to start creating visual on your own, load sample data. So if I click on load sample data, okay, what happens? It will bring up this window. Okay, these are some sample data. Financial, I have like two tables, finance and sheet one. Okay, I think sheet one I created. You will not see this one. Yeah, you will not see this one. I created. Okay, so you will see financial. Okay, sample data, same thing. Okay, so I don't want to do this. Okay, you can experiment all these things, guys. Okay, one, two, three, four. Okay, now in our case, I want to read a CSV file. Okay, so either I can go to this menu where it says home. Under home, you have get data sources. Okay, here you have text CSV. Okay, you can do the same thing, get data from another source. You can do the same thing. Okay, so this will bring you this window where you have all the data type. Okay, that you can connect with Power BI. Okay, so you have a long list here. Okay, so you see it supports most of the data that it supports. Okay, so you have a lot of application integration that you can do. Okay, in our case, for our learning, I'll just select text CSV and then I'll connect. Okay, and I will connect to this adventure box. Okay, so this data set is provided by Microsoft. Okay, if you go to Microsoft learn.microsoft.com Power BI, right? There in that section, sample data, you'll find the same data I have shared with you guys also. Okay, same data. So you can keep that data ready. So if you want to try along with me, you can pick up the same data set and then you can practice. Okay, I'll select this for sample. I'm just showing one sample and then I'll click on open. Okay, so immediately you'll see this window pops up. Okay, so it gives you this option: origin, delimiter, data type detection. Okay, and you can see the data in the preview has been truncated due to size limit. I know the file size is almost like very long, right? I know the rows, but it is just showing here based on first 200 rows. Okay. See, right now, everybody knows the CSV file, a comma, delimiter. This is where it will separate all these columns, right? If you want to do with column, you can do that. Okay. So something like this. Okay. You will see the preview before loading. Okay. You have equal sign. You can use this as well. Okay. So just experiment all these things: semicolon, space, tab, custom, fixed width. Okay. So I'll leave it with comma separated. Okay. So with comma separated, wherever comma is there in the data, it will separate as a column. Okay. First data and after column, this is one data. This is another data set. This is another column. This is another column. Okay. And here you have extract table using example. Okay. What does it do? Okay. Now you see, you want to extract first 200 rows, 1000 rows, or all rows. Okay. So these are the options that are available here. So you have to choose wisely what you're doing. Okay. What you are going to import. Okay. So I'll just cancel this. I'll just select CSV and I'll pick some sample data here. Okay. And then you have load, transform data, and cancel. Okay. Now, what is the difference between these three? These two, load and transform data. If you see, uh, 1 minute. Yeah. If you see here, if you notice something I said, extract, transform, and load. Okay. When you extract through connectors like CSV file, if I'm extracting, okay, it should show me a raw data. Okay, what if I select transform? Okay, it will open up with a Power Query editor. Okay, that is a difference. Okay, and next step you can go with data modeling. Okay, that is the difference here. Okay, load means normal load. I'll show you. This is normal loading. Okay, and how does it load? We'll get to see in few seconds. Okay, so it says working on. Okay, is doing something. View errors. Okay, now you see. Okay, now you see this has opened up with a editor. Okay, and you can see here it says Power Query Editor. This is very important. Okay, you can X out of this also. Okay, not now. Okay, and if you go here, okay, if you go to the second section, which is table view, you will see your data is already loaded. Okay, and here it says there are pending changes in your query. that haven't been applied. So you have discard and apply. I'll say apply. Let me see if I get it right. So it has applied everything. And on the right hand side, you will see the data set. Okay. So when any data that is loaded within a Power BI workflow, okay, even making changes to this data that you are seeing here, or if I change this to 2, 1, 2, or 3, whatever, okay, it will not make those changes in the original file. Okay, you can test that out. Okay, now this is my data loaded section. Okay, and where is this table view? Okay, and here is your source. Okay, which file is that? This one. Okay, and one more thing that you have to notice here is at the bottom it says 29,481 columns, sorry, rows, columns. Okay, and it says order quantity, 3 distinct value are there. Where is order quantity? Yeah, this one. 3 distinct, maybe 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 distinct value. Okay, it gives you the analysis right over here. Okay, and this is the file name, and these are the total rows. Yes, 30,000 rows we have. Simple. Okay, now what are the options we have here? Okay, for example, uh, order date. Okay, so one before that, first you need to do what you need to do is you need to check the data type. Okay, see, I have selected stock date. Okay, this is first option. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll load the same data. Okay, delete from model. Okay, how do you delete your file? Okay, the file which you have loaded on the right hand side, you click on it and then say delete from model, and it will give you the option. It will ask you yes or cancel. I say yes. Okay, the query remains. Okay, data won't be directly loaded into the model. Yes. Okay, now it is gone. See, the data section is empty. Okay, if I go to model section, the table view empty because I have deleted that. Okay, I'll show you the other option. Okay, same file. I will pick. Okay, now I will select the second option, which is transform data. Okay, I showed you, right? Load, transform data, and model. 3 options in the PPT, right? So now I'll go to the second option. You see the difference. Okay, it opens up with Power Query Editor where your data is ready for analysis. Okay, and cleanup, formatting, and all that. Okay, so this is where you have to one minute. Yeah, Power Query. I'll just maximize this. Okay, now you see here we have uh Power Query errors. Okay, let me check what are those errors. Okay, so this is where you have to focus this. Okay, when you get into the transformation mode, query editor mode. Okay, so you will get to see errors in this adventure sales 2017 file. What are these adventure order date? Okay, it is not matching, some error is giving. Okay, I'll show you how to correct it. Okay, and second one is, yeah, this one we just loaded the same thing. Okay, and this is 2 is the means it's a copy, copy or copy of that file. Okay, I'll just delete all these things. I don't need it. Okay, I have opened multiple time the query, because it is being the reference. Okay, so this is the reference it is giving. Yesterday I was teaching about the reference and copy or duplicate. Sorry. Okay, we'll go through that also tomorrow. Okay, first I want to make sure you guys are comfortable with all these menus. Okay, so we'll go one by one. On the right hand side, you can see this says applied steps. What is this? Applied steps. Okay, whatever the changes we are doing, it will add something called recorded columns. Okay. For example, I'll select order type. So first thing I need to check is why this error is coming. Okay. And then you have transform option. Okay. In transform option, you have something called, uh, I'll show you. Here also it says list may be incomplete. Okay. We're not seeing anything. Even if you right click on this, you will not get any option. Okay. Why this error is coming. Okay. It will not show. Could be the format. Okay. So you have something called, so not here. Is formatting. Okay, 1 minute, I will show you the difference. Okay. Now, did you notice one thing? When I loaded the transform section, right, directly getting the Power Query, but it has not added the data here in your Power BI desktop window. Okay. So let me go and save it. Okay. Apply. Okay. And close it. Let me check if that loads your data. No, it is not loading. Okay. Did you see the difference? Okay. You can do that way also, the second option. Okay. So you can use different options. That is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So I'll go from this menu, context, CSV. I'll select this data and I'll say open. Okay. This time I'll say load, not transform data, because when you click on transform data, it will open directly in Power Editor, Power BI Editor. Okay. There are pending changes to your query. Okay. So view errors. So again, see, whenever there is error, it will directly go to the section called uh, Power Query Editor. Okay. So it says error. Okay. 1 minute. The format could be the format. Okay. That is what I'm thinking. Let me check the format of this data. Okay. So data type date. If I select date, okay, it is still not fixing. Okay. Could be something else. Okay. My time zone or something. Okay. So I'll go to settings. Okay. I'll just minimize. So I can go to settings from the right hand side. Okay. And then I'll go to regional settings. Okay. So you see right now it is set as India. Okay. I'll select English. English. Okay, English. I'll select US. Okay. I'll just select Canada. Okay, let's see. Okay, I've selected. Okay, so I'll go to the Power Query Editor. Okay, and what I'll do is I will refresh. Okay, uh, refresh preview. Okay, I'll click on this. Okay, so I'll just click on this one, order date. Okay, 1 minute. Let me just clean up all these things. Okay, there are some pending. I'll just click on apply. Okay, now you see the stock date. We are not getting any error. Okay, if you want to reproduce the error, you can go here to settings. Where is regional setting? I'll just select India one more time. Okay, I want to show you the difference. Okay, so it says pending. Some pending changes are there. Okay, I'll click on apply. Same data. Okay, now you see one of loaded queries contained error. Okay, directly it opens up with a query editor. Okay, so this is the beauty of this one. Okay, now you see it has error again. Okay, I'll close this, not now. Okay, here. Okay, now you see order date, everything is missed. Now I cannot see those order date. Okay, even if you refresh here, refresh, okay, you will not see that data. Okay, so it says 29,481 rows loaded, but 17,681 as a error. Okay, no issues. We'll go to the report view. Okay, and then you will access settings. Okay, that will bring this window and go to the regional setting and select. This time we'll select US. Okay. There is US, United Kingdom, United States. So I'll select this one. I'll click OK. Okay. So it says there are pending changes in your query that haven't been applied. Do you want to apply? I'll say yes. Okay. Applied. Now I'll go to the table view. Now see the data is populated here. It's all right. So first step, fix. Okay, how you gonna do that? Okay, so any date that doesn't display or error, first thing first, you go to the regional setting and select the correct setting, because the format of data that we picked up, it is somewhere created during this US time zone or Canada. Okay, so that is not picking up our date format, because India date format is the other way, right? So that is the reason we were getting errors. Okay, so this is the first lesson. Second, we have, there is the transform data. Okay, so if you want to get into the editor, okay, Power Query Editor, okay, you see this option called transform data. Okay, so you can click on it. Okay, that will open in a Power Query Editor. Okay. Now this is your source data. Whichever is highlighted, that's your source. Okay. And here right hand side you have source data. Then you have promoted headers. You see here what happened is these are all promoted headers, because this is CSV, right? So I'll show you the difference now. Okay. Now you see this is our actual data, because CSV, right? The first row that you see, these are the headers, column names, right? Now you see column 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay. Now what you have to do is you have to select the first column as a row, right? So which Power BI does automatically. You don't have to. And right hand side, where this is actually your source actual data. Okay. When you make changes, right, you will see respective changes there. Okay, how to edit? Say for example, first one, I want to change this first row as a column. Okay, so how do I do that? I have an option here. uh, this one. Okay, use first row as header. Okay, if I just click on it, see now, order date, stock date, number, product key, customer key, all this has come as a column window. Now this is the first, and now if you have noticed something, okay, it has added one entry called promoted headers and change type. Okay, this is what the change type it is in. So whatever changes we do to our data, right, it records. Okay, and in under section of applied steps here, I keep adding. Okay, and if you want to give a meaningful name, okay, you can right click, you can say rename, and I'll say what was the first thing that we did. Uh, changed, changed first row as column. Okay, and then you can click anywhere. Okay, why? Because you will do lot, you will see these type of steps a lot. Okay, uh, with some default name, if you keep it properly, right, and label it properly, right, you will get to know what changes it has made to your data. Okay, so this is very important, and you can also rename your data. Okay, so this is adventure sales 2017. Okay, or you can say uh, dummy, whatever project date, whatever you want to do, so that you'll have a good reference. Okay, so this is first option that I want to show. Okay, right, and see, you can see change first row as column. You can make a note for this section, and then you know what is this section third one. Okay, what is this section? Okay, are you sure you want to delete this one? Okay, if I say delete, what happens? Everything is gone. Okay, now this will not work. Okay, again I'll go back to source. Source is your original data. If I go again, I'll select, you see these two options, change type. Okay, this is very important. Keep tab on your changes. Okay, first this is, I can say, what is this, column change. Okay, something, whatever you want, you can write and then click. This is the first step. Okay, now if you want to see the dimension of your data, okay, dimension is very important here. What do you mean by dimension? You will see the in a pictorial view of this data. Okay, so how do you go about it? You can go to view, and then you have something called column distribution. If you select this, you will get something like, you can see how your data looks like. Okay, so you see here 3-digit number, right? It's not always the case. You can see it is diminishing. Okay, you will get to know, and you can see here distinct value. Whatever distinct, 90% are distinct value. You get some analysis here itself. Okay, and then it give you the option remove duplicates. Okay, so here unique values are 11. Okay, and this one you just hover on this option, you will get the customer key. Okay, 395 distinct values are there. That means out of 100%, 39% are distinct value. 69 are unique. Okay, you get the analysis here in the first tab itself. Okay, and if you don't want, you can go to view and you can click on uncheck. Gone. Okay, now what is this option here? Okay, so I'll click on it. You have copy entire table. Okay, what does that mean? You can copy the entire data. Okay, now at the bottom, if you see here, if you notice here, it says column profiling based on top 1,000 rows. Okay, I know I have 30,000 rows here in my data set. Okay, how do you get all this here loaded? Okay, you click on it and you can say column profiling based on entire data set. Okay, when you say entire data set, it will load all. Okay, okay, it will keep on going. You can see right hand side. Okay, so these are the some of the basics that I want to show you. Okay. And how do you save it? Okay. So if you go to home, you have option called close and apply. Okay. So I'll click on it, close and apply. Okay. The changes, whatever the changes I did, I corrected this date type. Okay. Now I'm not seeing any error and all that. Okay. Now you see the power editor option that we were getting on the right hand side with the whatever changes we are making. It keeps track of each and every step that we are playing around with our data. But here in the Power BI desktop view, you'll not get to see that option. Okay, so you need to differentiate between this window and transformation window. Transformation is used when you want to make any changes or modification or you want to clean your data. Okay, that is when you will load your data into a transformation mode and you will correct it. Okay, so I'll go through all these options. Okay, one by one later on. Okay, how do we save this file now? Okay, so right now we are in a table view. Okay, and you have a option called here save. Okay, if you go to home or see, you have file. You click on file, it will bring you to this window. You have save as. Okay, save as of what? Okay, where do you want to store? This is my location that I'm storing all my project file. So I'll select the same file. Here I'll give the name. I'll say Power BI Day 1 walkthrough. Okay, and then I'll save it. Okay, if I close, what happens? I'll show you that also. If I close this window, I'll just close it from this. Okay, and if I launch my Power BI again, what happens? Okay, will it load the same file that I was working last time? No. Okay, so this is the first window that you're gonna get, and under recent section you will see Power BI Day 1 walkthrough. Okay, and the extension that you're gonna get here for these Power BI files are PBIX. Okay, PB stands for Power BI. Okay, PBI stands for BI. X stands for extension. Okay, file format. It basically like for file format, like you have a doc, PPT, like dot PPT, doc, dot Excel, and all that, right? It's a format. Okay, and you can save this file also. Okay, I'll share this file now with you guys. When you import the same data that I was playing around, right? Correctly, you will get to see without sending any data separately. Okay, it stores everything. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll share this file. Okay, guys, I have shared with you guys. Okay, on your WhatsApp group, so you can download and you can import it and let me know tomorrow. Okay, so we'll discuss tomorrow how the same file. Okay, the file which I have shared, whether are you able to see the data, the changes that I have made. Okay, all those things tomorrow we will discuss. Okay, so we'll stop it here. We're on top of the hour. Okay, I'll stop this